Yo, what's up guys, my name is Nick and welcome to another MyTeam video. If you haven't seen last week's episode, then go check it out right now, link is in the description. And you can see we are back with our normal livery. It's not completely normal as I've changed the sort of white that I used. And I had a problem with the CE last time out in the Dutch GP, which meant that we needed to retire. So yeah, if you hadn't seen that one, then spoiler. And we are doing some upgrades, of course, to the aerodynamics because we want to get a better car for the rest of the season. And yeah, I really like this car now, as I didn't really like the bright white that we had before. But we are getting into the Italian Grand Prix, of course, the one and only Monza GP. As you can see, here we are out on track in qualifying. I decided to go with this type of white. I think it's metallic. I don't know for sure. But as you can see, there are only 3 minutes remaining in this session. We are P21 because we only did a run on mediums. We only have one set of softs for Q1 and for Q2, so we need to get through with that. As you can see, we are starting fairly early with our final run. That's because I'm doing 3 runs in a row. I wanted to do that to see if it works for the tires. I put in enough fuel, and you can see through the first chicane we already gained 3.5 tenths, which eventually leads coming into Ascari with 9 tenths of a second. Everybody's coming out, so I won't be having any problems with traffic in my final run. As you can see, there's one Aston Martin which is getting fairly close to us, but we go up into P12. I decided not to show my second run as it wasn't that much of an improvement. You can see we are P13 and everybody's crossing the line as we eventually go over the line as we do. And we are still in P13, so we are through, our teammate is through, and we qualify first qualifying in P10, which is really great to see that we can get into the P10, because that would mean that we can get into Q3, which is really good for us. Our teammate is only 2 positions behind us, and in between us is Charles Leclerc. I don't know what he's doing in P11 because his teammate is in P3. So yeah, maybe he didn't have that good of a run, and no big surprises at all who are out of Q1. You can see once again the final stages of qualifying. We are putting in a good lap. I don't know if it will be good enough for Q3. We are trying our best, going through Ascari for a final time in this qualifying. Everybody has crossed the line except for us. We still need to qualify, and we are currently in P14, so we need to make that time up to get us into the top 10. You can see a big moment coming out of Parabolica as we cross the line. It's only one position that we need to be in, and it's P9. Are we in P9? Yes, we are. We are through to qualifying 3, the final stages of qualifying, of course. And to be honest, you can see we are already in qualifying 3. You can see I'm in P10 and I'm trying to go as fast as I possibly can. I only had one set of tires, so I waited until the very last moment. And I invalidated my first lap, so that wasn't good at all. But at the end, I noticed that these cars were so extremely fast. I don't know even how they put in this time, because I set a 1:19.0 and I was the slowest of them all. I'm trying to improve, as you can see, but I run wide coming into the final turn, and I was sleeping a bit. I don't know what I was doing there, but that meant that I didn't improve at all, but it wouldn't have mattered, because as we go and have a look at the standings, you can see I qualify in P10, which is still really great, but I want to be further up to gain more points, as we want to beat Alpine in the championship. But as we have a look at the qualifying results, you can see we are in P10, 8 tenths from pole, and I wasn't even near Lewis Hamilton. He was still 3 tenths ahead of me, so I don't know where we lost that pace, or maybe where they gained that pace in like the final qualifying. So let's see what we can do in the race, as it will be a really fun one.
It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again, here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. With top speeds up to 215 and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, George Russell and Vettel, Hamilton, the engineer, Ocon and Alex Albon, Perez, Button, Max Verstappen and Magnussen, Schwartzman, Norris, Mick Schumacher and Guan Yu Zhou, Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Here we go then for the Italian Grand Prix of this season. You can see we start right behind Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. It's of course the last race for Vettel in real life today. And we have a fantastic start of the line, dropping all the way down to P14. Let's see what we can do in turn 1. You can see we are going side by side with our teammate. A bit of a moment there, and we lose our positions back. But we are still ahead of the Red Bulls, which is the most important thing, as they are pretty fast here. And yeah, we are today at Monza. You can see already we have qualifying and already done and so. But yeah, we go past Albon before P10, we are back in the points. But I wanted to say something about this Grand Prix, is that it was the first race win for Sebastian Vettel, and we are uploading this video at the day that he's going to retire. Of course, it's really sad to see him go. He has been my idol since I was a little kid. He started in 2007, I was born in 2006, so he's been my idol my whole life. But there were yellow flags, and you can see it's Lando Norris who puts it in the wall. Quite a weird move. But yeah, that means that we are now in a safety car situation. Of course, we are still at the beginning of the Grand Prix, so I'm not going to box 4 hards. And the safety car is already coming in this lap. In lap 4, we are once again going to race here. We are side by side with our teammate. We want to overtake him as soon as possible. Because we have 2 Red Bulls behind, and we want him to fight with them and not me. So we are going side by side, and we are already overtaking him. Can we do something about Hamilton? No, he moves over, which was quite dangerous, but we don't have any damage, so no problem there as they go 3 wide. And I think that's Ocon with some damage, which is really good for us because he is our main competitor in this season. We want to get Alpine in the constructor standing, so if they get damage and don't get points, that would be really great for us, as we are 60 points behind them at the moment. And you can see we are side by side with our teammate. Once again, an exceeded track limit warning, but we are up into P9, so now it's time to hunt down Vettel and Hamilton. Of course, they are in way faster cars. Vettel is actually in the fastest car, I think, at the moment, and he is fighting with Lewis Hamilton, of course. And Ocon has gone into the pits because he didn't have a right end plate anymore. So that means that we are up into P8. Luckily, we don't have any damage from that first turn move. And we are up into P8. You can see the gap behind is 2 seconds at the moment to Perez and Button. They are fighting quite a lot, so that's only good for us. But Hamilton and Vettel are also quite fast, so I can't really catch up to them, as Vettel, not Vettel, I mean Verstappen, is now right behind us. He is here out of nowhere, as we are in lap 9 at the moment. As you can see, going into Ascari, he's only 2 tenths behind us, so we need to watch out for that, as we don't want to lose any positions. We need the points, we need to gain on Alpine, as I think Fernando Alonso is in P4 at the moment, so we need to gain as much as we can. As you can see, we are going side by side with Verstappen, and we push him a bit wide. We get the DRS, so we can run away with it. And you can see Vettel and Hamilton are absolutely going crazy. They are fighting lap after lap after lap. But as soon as we open the DRS, Verstappen can't catch up to us, which means that we are staying in P8 at the moment. And it's now lap 12. I think this is our pit window. So we are fighting with every track limits to get as fast as possible to that pit lane. As we said, a purple first sector, which is really great. And at the end of lap 12, I wanted to go on for another lap, but then I would have double stacked with my teammate, and I didn't want to do that. There's a yellow flag. I don't know what happened there, but we are into the pits for one and only pit stop this race. You can see lap 13, Ocon is once again ahead of me, but he had to pit early, so I think he is going for another stop in this race. But of course my tires are still cold. They are getting warmer and warmer every second on the track as my teammate is into the pits, but we need to hold on to Ocon as I don't want to fall into the DRS zone of Verstappen. And I think my teammate had a bad pit stop because he is, I think, around 3 seconds behind me, and he was fairly close to me. So I don't know what happened there. But Perez is actually ahead of us. He has overcut us, which is not great at all. We need to gain as many positions as possible. But yeah, you can see Schumacher is into the pits in lap 15, which means that we are in the points once again. And I think that is it for us. We need to gain positions on track now as Ocon and Perez are going side by side. And there's a yellow flag once again. And what is happening here today? You can see Zhou Guanyu is out of the race. Safety car deployed. It's the second safety car of the race. What happened to him? It's once again an Alfa Romeo crashes out. It's the second Alfa Romeo in this race. As there are only 2 Alfa Romeos in a race, of course. But he just goes into the back of, I don't know who that was. It was, I think, Schumacher maybe. But he just went straight into the back of him. And yeah, he lost a wheel, so he can't continue this race. It's both Alfa Romeos out of the race. And we are once again going to start racing as the safety cars are coming in this lap. It says return to correct position, but I am in P10 as I was before. And I'm already side by side with Ocon. We are going to try and overtake him into turn 1. Of course, maybe if we can do a big dive bomb on Perez and Hamilton, we are going to do that. As you can see now, 3 wide into turn 1. We broke a little bit too late, and we do a perfect switchback on Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, we do not have the traction coming out of turn 2, which means that we are still in P6. And now it's Perez and Vettel fighting behind me. And I am also close behind Sainz. I want to get him into this next corner. You can see I'm going for a move, and we are side by side, and I overtake him, but we go a bit too far into the corner. Luckily we hold the position, or never mind, we don't. But either way, we overtook him once again. I don't know why I didn't show that, sorry to you. But yeah, you can still leave a like and subscribe, you know. Yeah, thank you. Because I'm trying to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year. As now Vettel is behind me. He is mighty quick. Because of course he won his first race. He is mighty quick. He knows the track so well. And he's only 3 tenths behind me. Russell and Alonso are losing a lot of time to me. As the gap just 1 lap ago was 4 seconds, and now it's already 3 seconds. Sainz is not staying with Vettel at the moment, as Vettel is trying to overtake me into Parabolica. But of course I defend from him. And I want to stay ahead of him because I don't want to lose any more positions. You can see Alonso in P3, which isn't great at all for us. We need to get ahead of him, but that will of course be difficult as Vettel has his fastest lap. So he is quick, we know that already, because he's in a McLaren, which is really great in this MyTeam universe. And he's now going for a move. We defend him off, and he's trying to go down the inside, but he knows to be patient. And he stays behind us for just another moment. Of course, he will get enough tries to overtake us, and I will be fair with him. I will be fair with everyone. Everybody. We are racing is a non-contact sport, as Vettel is only 1 tenth behind us, going through left mode 2. And it's now Perez in P7. He is fighting with the likes of Hamilton and Sainz, and my teammate even, as we are still in P5 trying to defend off from Vettel. And he is mighty quick. Of course, I've said it many times before. He is an amazing driver, and he's also an amazing person off track. So I would have wanted to see him race for just another few seasons. But here he goes, and we are side by side, going towards the start finish straight. And you can see I have ERS, and I'm trying to hold him back. I don't know how he even lost some speed there. compared to me, but I try to brake as late as possible, but he just overtakes me around the other side of turn 1, and that means that he now is up into P5, which is really difficult for us to stay with him, as he is the fastest man on track. There's once again a yellow flag. Will this mean that we get a third safety car this race? I don't think so. As it is, Lance Stroll, is Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo who have been in the mud today, with Schumacher colliding with Zhou Guanyu and Norris just binning it on his own in lap 1. And now also Lance Stroll is out of the race, so they won't have an amazing weekend. But we are trying to hold on to P6. You can see we get DRS, and we have just that bit of ERS left to try and catch up to Vettel, but he is just so fast. As you can see, only in lap 25 he is already 2 seconds ahead of us. We can still see him, but we are not fighting with him anymore. He has won this battle, but we will get a few races after this that we can try and fight back. As Sainz is now really close behind us, only 1/10 between us. He is right at my back. As Max Verstappen says, the fastest lap of the race. We are going into the penultimate lap of this race, only 2 laps remaining. As I have a bit of a log up going into turn 1, but I can keep Sainz behind us. He is not overtaking me into turn 3 and 4, so we do have that luck that we have a fast engine. As I want to hold on to P6, Alonso is in P4, so we need to do damage limitation as we go around Parabolica for for the penultimate time, not for one last time. I thought it was already lap 27. But we are going into our final lap right now, and I put the fastest lap in. I don't know how I did that. I didn't expect it at all, because I was just driving quite defensive, so I lost a lot of time to that. As Carlos Sainz goes for a move, but we can defend him off, and we are staying in P6. Only 1 lap remaining. We need to stay ahead of him. But we are cutting a bit further into the lap as soon as possible. I think it's right now. Yes, it is right now, and you can see through Ascari for one final time, as the leaders are already going through Parabolica, and Sainz is only 2/10 away from us. Is he going to overtake us in the last lap? I don't think so, as Charles Leclerc wins at Ferrari's home circuit, and you can see it's an amazing crowd here as Sainz tries to get a good exit out of Parabolica, but he doesn't overtake us, and we stay in P6 for the race. What an amazing race this has been. Vettel faces in P5, which is really great for him. So yeah, we are drive off today as well. Luckily we could defend Sainz off, which meant that we could hold on to P6.
They made great use of the clear air today and didn't allow anyone to exploit the slipstream behind them. What a great win here at Monza. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
So this is our podium for the Italian Grand Prix. It's Charles Leclerc who wins in the Ferrari. It's Daniel Ricciardo in P2 and it's George Russell in P3. So it's fairly normal right now to see Ferrari, McLaren and Mercedes on the podium. Red Bull haven't been that strong anymore. But of course they are still fast, so we need to watch out for them. And yeah, that was an amazing race for us. Of course, I want to see my teammate up there as well. But as we have a look at the results, you can see he's once again in P11, just like last time in the Dutch Grand Prix. Which isn't really good for us. I think he has had his time because we need to gain points. We need to get ahead of Alpine. We are 64 points behind them, as both Alfa Romeos had a DNF this race. But yeah, I was trying my best to stay ahead of Vettel, but he is just too quick. He is only 30 points behind Leclerc, so it's only good that he has got P5 and not stuck behind me in P6, that he can catch up to Leclerc and be a 5-time world champion. But we'll need to wait for that for another few episodes until we are at the end of this season. But we are not at the end of this season, we are at the end of this video. If you have enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe and share this with all your friends, as I want to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And if you haven't seen the video on the screen right now, then go and watch that right now. Goodbye.